Wedstrijdnummer in 2019 finalist van de World Series of Darts Finals. Dames en heren, uw applaus voor Noppie, Danny Noppert. Zijn tegenstander van vandaag, uit Westervoort, Nederland. Voormalig winnaar van de German Gold Cup en in 2019 halve finalist in de PDC World Cup of Darts. Dames en heren, de machine gun, Jermaine Wattimena.
Penultimate game of the afternoon session. We still have James Wade and Steve Lennon to come. In form, Steve Lennon could see another seed depart. We've already seen Glenn Durrant, Joe Cullen, and now Ian White knocked out of the tournament. The Diamond, the highest seed to fall so far. Now it's the turn of the number 13 of the 16 seeds, Jermaine Wattimena, in a double Dutch encounter with Danny Noppert. Two men from the same country, but very different styles. The free-flowing Jermaine Wattimena, the machine gun, and the more considered, methodical Danny Noppert. Jermaine is the higher ranked in the world. He is the seeded player here, and his Euro Tour form last year was very, very good. He was repeatedly finding himself in action in the final day. But Danny Noppert has been better so far this year. Difficult one to call this. Rob Malarkey's going to attempt to do it.
Yeah, well, we've seen three seeded players fall by the wayside today, and I've got to say I wouldn't be surprised if we were to see a fourth one eliminated at the hands of Danny Noppert here as well, because Danny, as we've seen both on the European Tour and on the Pro Tour, very capable player, a man who has made year-on-year improvements, if you like, in many respects, and a player who's really shot to prominence given the standard and the quality of the darts that he's produced. Up to 26th on the Pro Tour Order of Merit. Might not be too far away from being seeded once again. He has been seeded before for these European Tour events. 27th on the overall Order of Merit, and a man who's made good progress on the Pro Tour already this year with one quarter-final and a semi-final in back-to-back events in Wigan earlier this month. So I certainly can make a case for Noppert. I've got to say, it wouldn't be a great surprise if he were to overcome his fellow Dutchman in this one.
Well, Jermaine Wattimena is number 23 in the world. Danny Noppert 4 places below him. But I have to say, I think Jermaine has been rather unfortunate in some regards. 100 as Noppie piles in the first maximum. Because the last 2 years, he's gone to the World Championship where there's more ranking money than anywhere else in the world. Played magnificently and gone out early in thrilling games. And that's a heck of a visit from him.
It certainly was.
It was Luke Humphries who did for him at Ali Pali this year in a barnstormer of a game in the second round. The year before, he only lost to Gary Anderson, despite nearly taking out the two-time world champ in a deciding set tie-break. So that's two huge opportunities for big money that have passed him by. Who knows where he'd be in the world rankings if he got through one or both of those games? Oh, that's an interesting one. Deciding not to go 14 and ball because Danny Noppert was on a big combo finish, but it's treble 20, treble 19, double 16. They're 3 targets you go for more than the vast majority of ones on the board. Skinny 5.
But he won't be finished, yeah. That's one that perhaps Wattimena's got away with.
125. Jermaine Uruguay 32.
Seemed to be in a hurry to
on the first
take
leg,
out that double 16, but he finds it at the second time of asking with double 8 instead.
Game on.
Did have a good run to the last 8 of the World Grand Prix towards the end of last year as well, did Jermaine Wattimena. He beat Adrian Lewis and the future world champion Peter Wright before that 3-2 defeat by Glenn Lewis. He had some good appearances on the Pro Tour as well last year, some steady stuff, 2 finals, 7 quarter-finals.
134.
Hasn't made a quarter-final so far this year. His best performance was a run to the last 16 in Wigan last Sunday. And he's yet to average a ton this year as well, which is very much out of keeping with the rest of the players in the higher echelons of the game.
Yeah, Danny Noppert has been better than him this year. He's had deeper runs, he's had higher averages. Had a couple of big ton plus averages at the weekend. Although only came away with a 2nd and 3rd round exit, losing out to Mike Decker in form. You'll see him later. And James Wade you'll see in the very next game. But the winner of this will take on either Andy Hamilton or Peter Snake right.
Yeah, and you forgot to say as well that Danny Noppert has really got the better European Tour pedigree as well. I mean, Jermaine Wattimena, he's been playing on these European Tour events for 5 years now, but he's only made 1 quarter-final. That was in Denmark last year. Yeah, I think that was his 29th European Tour event or something.
Yeah, but look at last year. I mean, he was last 16, last 16, last 16, last 16 all the time. Yeah. So, I don't know. I think, yeah, he could have done more, obviously. But if you keep on turning up to Euro Tours and find yourself in the final day, eventually your luck is going to turn and you'll go 44. A bit deeper. But also, you're picking up 82. Last 16 3 grand in ranking money.
Yeah, and the thing I was just going to say was the fact that Noppert's best Euro Tour performance perhaps was in 2018 when he made a couple of semi-finals. He didn't make it to the European Championship last year. He fell just short of that cut-off point, whereas Wattimena, like you say, that consistency and getting through to the last 16, you know, was enough to getting involved in the big one.
Danny Noppert getting involved in the not going for bullseyes and letting your opponent have a shot, and he could have paid the price.
98.
That makes more sense from Noppy to let him have a go at the 164, and Jermaine letting Danny have a go at the 149.
Yeah, on the second leg, Danny Noppert. The leg is Jermaine to throw first.
Their gambles paid off in both instances.
100.
Wattimena's European Championship campaign ended with a 10-6 defeat by another young Dutchman, Jeffrey de Zwaan, in round 2. 10-6 the score in that one. De Zwaan we'll see later on tonight, by the way, against Kim Ibrex, which should be a decent-looking encounter.
Yeah, could be absolutely incredible, that game, or it could be a bit of a slog. You're not quite sure what you get with those two. Could be a very one-sided encounter if one of them doesn't perform and the other one plays to their abilities, because we know what their top levels are.
$100. $95.
Yeah, Geert de Vos was Noppert's victim in round 1. Averaged only 88.78 in that one. He was a bit sloppy with the doubles on occasion, was Danny Noppert, but it was all about the win yesterday against the Belgian.
131.
Did a good job of silencing the crowd as well, more importantly. Maybe that was part of the issue there for him.
Yeah, Jackie was still pretty lively, but it was a bit of a one-man band,
130.
So, a chance for a breaker throw here. 130 required. 4 20s will leave bull. That's one of them. That's the other 3.
105. Jermaine Uruguay, 85.
But no cigar. Great dart. Super. 85 checkouts.
Yeah, nice.
Full leg is Danny to throw first. Game on.
Pinged in 2 darts. Always a nice settler, those ones.
Winner of this to face either Peter Wright, the world champion, or Andy Hamilton, who square off in our 3rd match of the evening session. We round off our afternoon session with James Wade, the number 7 seed, and a former European champion himself against Steve Lennon.
100.
Who has gone deep on the European Tour, made a final in Holland not too long ago, 2018. World Cup finalist, and one of this year's 9 darters as well.
131.
Yes, he did hit a 9 darter in a game where he averaged almost 111. Playing incredible stuff, Steve Lennon. Another one of those players in the Devon Peterson, Dirk van Duijvenbode bracket who've started off this year in sensational form. And we've seen, and Mike de Decker. We've seen Mike de Decker win his game yesterday. Dirk has won 2 games already and he's in the final day.
98.
Mike de Decker could join him there. He'll play tonight against Michael van Gerwen. So if he is going to make the final day, it's going to be a sensational result, particularly the fans here in Belgium.
Yeah.
Wattimena right there with Danny. Who's got the better setup shot from here? Well, it's going to be difficult to beat this one. Impossible to beat. That is perfection.
That's wonderful play by Danny Noppert. And all Jermaine can do now is just hope that Noppert fluffs his lines.
40.
Wattimena may well get a crack at the 96, but 3 bites at tops here for 2-2. Well, the approach play was absolutely perfect, but the finishing left a little bit to be desired.
96.
85 was no bother for him.
Ooh.
96, a little bit too much hard work.
76.
Well, was a little bit careless from Wattimena.
10.
Having been gifted the opportunity, he didn't take it. Noppert back in for double 10.
For
Sorry, for double 5.
Danny Noppert. But ladies and
we
Jermaine
are
to throw
level at
first.
2 apiece, when really it perhaps should have been 3-1 in favour of the number 13 seed.
108.
But looking to right the wrongs, he fires in the second 180 of the match, Jermaine Wattimena. Closely followed by the third.
It's quite a closely contested battle in the race to be the next best player from Holland behind Michael van Gerwen. You've got De Zwaan at 21 in the world rankings, just 10 grand behind is Jermaine Wattimena, and then you've got Danny Noppert, who's about 25 grand behind
100
in 27th.
Yeah.
All 3 of those guys vying for a World Cup spot, of course.
137.
I assume they're Dutch fans, or they're really keen on the colour orange. And the Dutch flag.
The clues are there.
Yeah, the clues are there. I mean, look, I'm not Sherlock Holmes.
100.
But Danny Noppert,
120.
2 180s in this leg, looking to solve the riddle of leg 5, and may well do so.
89.
Now, 1 for tops. I would have thought he'd go, but he had a bit of a troubled relationship with it in the last leg.
Yeah, Jermaine Wattimena, a real nuisance factor with that previous visit, wasn't it? It is 1 for tops for Danny Noppert. This is for a break of throw. This could be decisive, and maybe that's the first real significant piece of movement we've seen in this match.
11 darter from Danny Noppert, beating the 2 legs he'd won on throw in 16 darters, where he'd been under pressure. But the good leg comes at the right time for Noppert.
Well, Danny Noppert, I think,
96.
welcome a smooth passage here, because, okay, beat De Vos 6-1 yesterday, but he has been involved
43.
in a fair few matches to go the distance on the Pro Tour. In fact, his last 3 matches have all gone the distance in last Sunday's Pro Tour event in Wigan. James Wade accounted for him in the last 32, 6-5, having beaten Marco Cantelé and Ross Smith by the very same score. So it was a nervy day for Danny Noppert.
96.
A day that started with an average of 102.1 against Ross Smith.
100.
Posted an average of 106 almost against Ryan Meikle the day before. Having had the
140.
misfortune of coming up against Ratajski in the semi-finals in Players' Championship 4 the week before in Wigan.
100.
He's one of these players, Noppert. He goes into Pro Tour events and you have to put him into the conversation, I think.
Well, he has won one, of course, but he does regularly find himself in the latter stages.
99.
Former world finalist, of course. And you go and speak to somebody like, say, little Richard Ashdown, who knows more about darts than
140.
about 99.9% of people on the planet. He'd watched him play at the Lakeside a number of times at various BDO WDF events, and he said, I think he's got something. I think he will thrive in the PDC, and he has. He perhaps hasn't shot up the rankings into the top 16 as yet, but there's nothing to say that he couldn't find himself making those kinds of moves, because he's already made a major final. It's just not a ranking event. 4-2 up here on the Dutch number 3.
Yeah, Danny Noppert very smooth in taking out that 2-dart combination for a 70 check out, a 14-dart holder throw for a 4-2 lead. Wattimena bouncing off the ropes for the ton 80 to start things off. That's 4 perfect darts. Switches to the 19s to try and get that one out of the way.
136.
In good shape to hold throw.
Well, that third leg, Danny Noppert did get a dart at the ball for a 130 finish. So look at how consistent he's been throughout this match. The scoring is there. The finishing is at 50%. That's really unfortunate. But 120 scored brings his average up a little to almost 110. This is in danger of being the best we've seen so far in terms of the numbers this weekend.
Well, this would just be a holder throw, but it might just be it might feel a bit more than that for Wattimena if he can take this out in 11 darts. Maybe just something to settle him back into it.
100
tries to force the hand of Danny Noppert, but Danny Noppert coming good once again. Tops for Wattimena, double 10.
44.
And that has opened the door for Noppert once again for another break of throw, and I wouldn't put it past him here.
Trebles have not been an issue for Danny Noppert. Beautiful. One for tops. Noppy.
81.
Not quite.
Big reprieve for Wattimena. Looking at double 5. That's further away.
No score.
That was not close enough either, and the head drops, the
Danny
shoulders droop. And
20.
I think Danny Noppert won't stand on ceremony here.
Well, he's been better than Jermaine Wattimena so far this year, but he's not been this good. He's never been this good on a European Tour stage. It is magnificent from Danny Noppert. Another breaker throw, 5-2, and unless his level drops significantly, I'm pretty sure he can't lose this game. He's averaging 110 pretty much. And
that's with a few missed darts at a double as well. 5 from 11, which is good. It's a great return. But very, very impressive indeed from Danny Noppert. And it just keeps on delivering.
5 180s for Danny Noppert now. We are only in the 8th leg, and Jermaine Wattimena is crumbling under this absolute assault from his fellow Dutchman. Yes. Oh, well, it was low anyway, wasn't it?
Yeah, there was a deflection, but it was low anyway, and well, put that to one side. Noppert looking good value here to finish this one off here and now. He's got a cushion of 105 points minus these on his throw, or plus these I should say.
Mervyn King was superb this afternoon. He averaged the best part of 106 as he took out Glenn Durrant. But this has been imperious from Noppert, and a visit like that, you can see the reaction to it. He feels in the zone. He feels like he must feel absolutely incredible. Jermaine Wattimena is averaging 99 here, and he's being taken to the cleaners.
Well, that was a rare slip by Danny Noppert, and he is setting himself high standards given his reaction, as you can see. 106 away,
100.
Stays on the 20s. To leave that potential 2-dart combination. Treble 18, double 16.
100. Danny require 86.
And this for a passage into round 3 and a potential meeting with the world champion on Sunday. That's the first part of the equation. Double 16 for the match,
Game
and
shot.
that is
And the match,
absolutely
Danny Noppert.
beautiful from Danny Noppert. That is really impressive indeed. Great finishing as well in the end to get the job done. But the average is the all-important statistic there. Just take a look at that, 108.96. Danny Noppert with arguably the performance of the day so far. A 6-1 win yesterday against Geert de Vos, and an even more impressive 6-2 win against the number 13 seed, Jermaine Wattimena. He's the 4th seed to fall by the wayside in this tournament today, and Danny Noppert it is who goes through to meet either Peter Wright or Andy Hamilton in round 3 tomorrow.
Danny Noppert, tweede overwinning hier in Hasselt en je mag lekker naar die zondag toe. Dat moet fantastisch voelen, niet?
Ja, zeker. Hier doe je het voor. Ik heb een goede partij neergezet. Beter dan gisteren, dat is één ding wat zeker is. En we gaan stapje voor stapje vooruit.
Absoluut, en morgen wacht ofwel Mr. Wright ofwel Mr. Hamilton. Wat denk je?
Nou ja, hij krijgt het lastig. Dat is één ding wat zeker is. Als ik gewoon dit doorzet, dan kan ik het iedereen lastig maken. En we gaan er gewoon voor en lekker genieten. Ik vind het mooi om hier weer op het podium te staan voor het publiek. En ik wil mijn vrienden ook bedanken die er zitten. Dus,
Wat vind je van de support hier in Hasselt?
ja, zeker goed. Ik vind het een mooie gevulde zaal, dus dat is leuk.
Wordt lekker, morgen ook weer. Danny Noppert, heel veel succes morgen en ik zie je morgen terug voor de wedstrijd tegen ofwel Wright ofwel Hamilton. Dames en heren, hartelijk applaus aan Danny Noppert.